stop because they get litigious. Here it comes.
Reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return.
It was suggested that the then Meghan Markle likely spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before she even met Prince Harry.
That smirk sparked everything.
Nasty, and says he feels sorry for Prince Harry because his wife is a lot to deal with.
Colin Jost on SNL didn't just tell a joke. He dropped a truth bomb. Staring right into the camera, he hit us with a line that surely sent royal handlers into a tailspin. Apparently, one of the terms in Trump's new UK trade deal is that we send Meghan Markle back, but only if she deletes her entire Instagram again. Boom! The internet went absolutely wild. And Meghan Markle? Word on the street is she nearly crushed a wine glass in Montecito. But this wasn't just another late-night dig. This was a direct shot at the Duchess. Not pity, not understanding, but a comedian calling her out for being, well, a brand. And a brand, it seems, with some seriously messy baggage. The whole Yacht Girl story never really went away. It just went underground until this moment. Because while everyone was laughing at Jost's punchline, they were missing the real tea brewing. Just days before that SNL episode, some seriously blurry but unmistakable photos started circulating. We're talking a sunny deck, a bunch of powerful guys, champagne flutes, and right in the middle, a woman looking exactly like pre-royal Meghan Markle, decked out in designer swimwear, looking all casual and cute.
Reminder, Prince Harry married a talentless Soho house, alleged, named Meghan Markle. And I've seen this before, but I have to admit.
The photo didn't have her name stamped on it, but that didn't stop the internet's most dedicated sleuths on Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter. Bless their caffeinated hearts. They dove in, cross-referencing every tiny detail. The bracelets, the body language, even the angle of the sun. This wasn't some grainy Bigfoot sighting. The image was crystal clear, sharp enough to make a palace guard do a double take. But it wasn't just the photo itself that set the internet ablaze, it was the timing. This wasn't a blurry snapshot of Meghan from 2004, a college co-ed on spring break. Oh no, this picture surfaced eerily close to her early Suits fame, a time when she was meticulously crafting her clean girl image online. She was all about green juice, preaching self-love, and casually name-dropping charitable causes. That's the genius of Meghan's brand.
We again highlight the mucky murkiness and mendacious manner of this alleged yacht girl. According to her,
if Meghan was truly sipping rosé on luxury yachts with powerful, wealthy individuals before Prince Harry ever slid into her DMs, then maybe that fairy tale love story wasn't so organic after all. Perhaps it wasn't fate. Maybe it was just good old-fashioned networking. And that's where Colin really twisted the knife. He didn't just mention Meghan, he alluded to a truth people have been whispering for years, that she didn't just stumble into royal luxury. She climbed there, armed with charm, ambition, and a Rolodex brimming with international connections. Naturally, this sparked an uproar. Cue the SNL skits, the blazing headlines, and Meghan allegedly throwing her phone against the wall like it was an ex-boyfriend who ghosted her. What many miss in this media frenzy is just how
girl past set to be exposed in a new documentary that's finally going to air next month. Let's put it this way, I smell a scared little yacht.
Let's revisit a past event. Photos of Meghan Markle, allegedly on a yacht, first emerged years ago in niche online forums and gossip blogs. They didn't gain widespread attention back then for a few reasons. At the time, Meghan was largely seen as a sympathetic figure, with a strong palace versus princess narrative in play. Any criticism was often quickly labeled as misogynistic or racist. It was a period where, frankly, few were willing to scrutinize the Cinderella story. However, the situation has dramatically changed. the Spotify deal is gone, Netflix buzz has faded, and her rose wine venture has faced criticism. Now, the Yacht Girl whispers have intensified into a full-blown public discussion, complete with visuals, metadata, and guest lists that aren't easily dismissed. What's particularly notable is Meghan's silence. There's been no public statement, no cryptic quotes about overcoming challenges, and no curated Instagram posts. This silence has raised questions because, if the allegations were false, many would expect a swift denial, a lawsuit, or a public rebuttal from Archewell. In today's digital age, silence in such situations often appears suspicious rather than serene. Supporters struggle to defend. Even Meghan's usual defenders are finding it difficult to respond. Typically, there's a pushback, a narrative of victimhood, or a focus on why she and Harry left the UK, but this time, her supporters are unusually quiet. It's not for a lack of care, but because the material, specifically the alleged yacht party images, is challenging to defend when her public brand is built on narratives of struggle and service. The internet's unforgiving nature has also played a significant role. Following a recent public joke, memes, TikToks analyzing Meghan's past personas, Instagram reels tracing her transformation from influencer to duchess to entrepreneur, and Twitter threads dissecting the disappearance of old friends and the evolution of her image have gone viral. Everything that doesn't fit her current branding seems to vanish, much like a Snapchat message. Even publications that were once sympathetic are now using terms like inconsistent, over-curated, and, most damningly, inauthentic. This shift in perception is what Meghan reportedly finds most challenging to stomach. Not the accusations or rumors she's previously weathered, but the public mockery. It's perceived that while hate can be spun into sympathy, laughter often signals the end of control over one's public image. The joke didn't just target her, it turned her into a punchline, opening the floodgates for late-night shows, gossip sites, and YouTube commentary channels to scrutinize her past. The widening cracks and industry impact. There are even rumors of more photos potentially surfacing, with industry insiders suggesting that high society photographers are being asked to review their archives for anything sensitive. This yacht narrative persists not as a definitive smoking gun, but because it starkly highlights a perceived disconnect between Meghan's public persona and her alleged private reality. For someone whose brand is built on being a victim of misrepresentation, the suggestion that she might have engineered the very narrative she now complains about presents a significant scandal. What's most striking is how this situation has moved beyond mere gossip. It's no longer just whispers on Reddit or questionable Instagram posts. It's public, viral, and, for many, undeniable. Once comedy entered the picture, specifically a joke on a popular late-night show, the narrative shifted. Meghan Markle transitioned from a royal icon to a meme. This change in power dynamics means the public's perception is now being shaped by jokes, satire, and late-night punchlines. A form of ridicule that tends to stick and permeate social media. Reportedly, Meghan was furious after the segment aired, not just annoyed. Unlike a harsh headline or a court case, she can't sue a punchline or file a takedown notice against a smirk. She also can't easily make yacht photos disappear when the internet rapidly surfaces alleged evidence. One insider claimed Meghan reached out to multiple media contacts to try and redirect the narrative towards her philanthropic work, but the perceived damage was already done. Harry's position and Hollywood's view. Prince Harry is not immune to the impact of these events. The man who once claimed to despise the press is now watching his wife's past become an internet investigation, with his image often appearing alongside hers. While Meghan is being framed as a manipulator, Harry is allegedly taking hits as the gullible prince who sacrificed everything for someone who never truly left the spotlight. Royal insiders even speculate this latest scandal has pushed Harry further into isolation from his family, the public, and perhaps even Meghan herself. While Meghan reportedly attempts to control the narrative, Harry is said to be retreating, becoming quiet, and increasingly distant. This has led some to wonder if the perfect Sussex front is finally cracking. Hollywood is observing these developments keenly. Executives have long memories, and PR teams and studios frequently exchange information. In Hollywood, being unpredictable is one thing, but being uncontrollable is worse. Meghan's name, once considered for brand deals and humanitarian panels, is now reportedly disappearing from those conversations. Not because she lacks appeal, but because she's become a perceived risk. And risk doesn't sell, especially when one's past continues to emerge. The joke didn't just reopen the Yacht Girl discussion, it exposed the vulnerability of Meghan's carefully constructed image. Regardless of the documentaries, interviews, or empowerment speeches, one viral photo can, for some, undo years of narrative building. Meghan's rise was strategic, positioning herself as a fresh voice, a symbol of modernity, feminism, and resilience within a rigid monarchy. However, as various accounts have suggested, the story becomes less clear when the cameras are off. The audience is now reportedly seeing this murkiness. The issue, for many, is no longer about her marriage, but about her past actions. The people she allegedly left behind or silenced, and the perceived inconsistencies in her self-presentation, depending on the audience. If different stories are told to different audiences, they may eventually converge and contradict each other. The Yacht Girl photos are seen by some as merely a surface issue. The deeper concern, for them, lies in the alleged erasure, the deliberate removal of context, and the reinvention of a past that many remember, that photos still capture, and that timelines don't always align with. The point, according to this perspective, isn't to shame someone for a glamorous pre-royal life. The perceived problem is the alleged pretense that it never existed, the alleged attacks on anyone who brings it up, and the aggressive rebranding of her life to the extent that anyone who challenges it is cast as a villain. The recent public commentary, for some, has brought suppressed questions to the forefront. Why were certain photos allegedly scrubbed?
And once it does, it's not the trolls or tabloids you have to worry about.
Why do legal threats reportedly follow casual references to that era? Why the alleged pressure on tabloids to unpublish harmless lifestyle coverage from years ago? And why the frantic need to control everything except what some see as the truth? These questions, for many, persist and multiply, with Meghan's silence only fueling them. While some defenders attribute this scrutiny to misogyny, racism, or anti-American bias, others argue it's a consequence. They believe that a global audience can only be gaslighted for so long before a mask slips. At that point,